Hello guys, I'm Viraj. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we guys are going to discuss about a data type. So data type points to the value. These values can be any type. So what does that mean? So the value can be integer, float, string, boolean, list, tuple, dictionary and set. So all these things we are going to see today. Apart from that, we have heard a term called as a dynamic typed programming language. So what is Python is a dynamic typed programming language. We don't have to define a data type. It automatically takes it. So all these things we are going to discuss in today's session. So let's get started for a data type. Integer, float, string, boolean, list, tuple, dictionary and set. Integer are whole numbers. Integer are whole number. For example, 100, 500, minus 2, minus 22. So it can be positive as well as it can be negative, but it will be the whole number. Whereas in a float, we will have a 10.0, minus 2.22, 99.9, 25.1. All these are a float where we will have a decimal places. So difference between the integer and float, in integer we don't have any decimal places, and a float we do have it. In a string, we can say that anything's under a single or a double quote. So hello is a string type. If I am writing in a double quote, that is also a string. It doesn't change anything. The way we have defined it only change. At the end of the day, the data type will be only string. When to use a single quote, when to use a double quote, or when to use a triple single or double quote, that we will discuss in later in this series when we are actually working on a strings. Apart from that, boolean. Boolean will represent as a true or false. Either it will be the true or it will be false. It will be false. It also represents as a 1 and 0. 1 for a true and 0 for a false. List. List is a collection of elements which is a mutable in nature. We can modify it. Tuple is a something, again, collection of different types of element, but it is a immutable in nature. We cannot modify it. So list can be get denoted with the opening closing square bracket. Inside that we can have a multiple elements. So right now I am having an integer element. In tuple I am having again integer elements, but list is a modifiable, changeable, whereas tuple are not. Dictionaries are a key value pair, and which are denoted with the opening closing curly braces, So if I wanted to define any dictionary, so A as a 10, B as 20. So A is pointing to the 10 and B is pointing to 20. So where A and B are a keys and 10 and 20 are a values. So you can say that it is a key value pair. Set. Set is a similar like a defining like a dictionary. It has the same syntax, opening closing curly braces, but where we just have a values. So for example, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1 and so on 3. So what it is going to do, the unique feature of the set is it is a collection of a unique element. We cannot have duplicate elements in a set. So it is a collection of a distinct element. So these are all the data types that we have. So whatever I am selected right now, that is called as a primary data type. And whatever I am selecting now, that is a extensive data type. Let's discuss about a primary data type first. So for example, if I am creating a equal to 10 and running this. So what I can say that A is a variable. A is holding 10 as a value. A is integer type of variable. So all these things we can say that. So indirectly A is nothing but the integer. The value it is holding, that is a 10. Similarly, B 99.99. What I can say now? B is a variable. B is holding 99.99 as a value. B is float type of variable. Float type of variable. Similarly, if I am doing a C, hello, what I can write it? C is a variable. C is holding hello as a value. C is string type of variable. I will take one more variable which is going to be D, where I am going to store a true as a value. What I can say? D is a variable. D is holding true as a value, and D is bool type of variable. Guys, how we are going to prove that A is an integer, B is a float, and C is a string, lastly D is a boolean? How we can prove that? In Python, we have one built-in function which is called as a type. Type will return the data type of a value or variable. Syntax: type will accept value or variable. In order to return, it will return a data type. It will return a simply data type. Okay. For example, if I am typing A, what it is going to return? Integer. Type B, it will return a float. Type C, it will return a string. We can say that C is a string. And lastly, we can type a D as a boolean. So this is how we can validate A, B, C and D are integer, float, string and boolean respectively. That's it for this video, guys. We will discuss the list, tuple, dictionary and set in coming videos. Thank you.